Hey, greetings everyone. Lieutenant Colonel West, Senior Fellow at the Media Research Center. It's with a heavy heart all across America that we're remembering the people in Pittsburgh, the congregants of the Tree of Life Synagogue who were viciously and savagely gunned down this past Saturday as they were just having their church services. See, one of the things that we have here in these great United States of America, your very first right in your Bill of Rights, in our Constitution, is the freedom of religion and the free exercise thereof. But on Saturday, we were reminded that evil does exist still in the United States and, of course, in this world. When a gunman came in and murdered some 11 individuals there, just people participating in a religious ceremony, part of their faith, and they were punished for that. This is something that cannot stand in the United States of America. And when we continue to have this growing sentiment of anti-Semitism because the person ran into that room shouting very simply, "The Jews must die." See, living here in Dallas, Texas now, I am reminded of what happened almost a year ago in a place called Sutherland Springs, Texas, where once again, people were in church on a Sunday morning, just seeking to worship their Lord, share their faith, and an evil person, a gunman, charged into that church facility. Thank God down there in Sutherland Springs, there was one man, a heroic man by the name of Stephen Williford, who ran to the sound of the guns and neutralized the assailant there. In Pittsburgh, the person that is guilty of this horrific crime, or maybe I should say alleged crime, he is in custody. And I hope that he gets the full extent of our law and the full punishment that should be vetted against someone such as himself. But let me ask you this. What we saw this past Saturday was a violent aspect of anti-Semitism. But let's be very honest, in the United States of America, we have allowed anti-Semitism to thrive and to be like a cancer within our society. I'm going to say something that maybe some people say should not be said. But when you think about the hateful, ugly, vitriolic rhetoric of one Louis Farrakhan, when you think about the platform and stage that he has been allowed to have, a person that sat on the stage at the funeral for the Queen of Soul, right next to a former president, that's where Louis Farrakhan was, one of the most anti-Semitic voices here in the United States of America. But yet he's allowed to have that platform. And yet he's allowed to have entities with other members of the political sphere here in the United States of America. And you know some of the people that I'm talking about. But it's not just the anti-Semitism that we hear from the mouths of people like a Louis Farrakhan. But when you go on our college campuses, our university campuses, and you experience that level of anti-Semitism that is there, when you know that there are Jewish students that have to be fearful because of their faith and their heritage, Jewish community centers that are attacked and spray painted with swastikas and things of this nature, when you know about policies such as the BDS policy, which stands for boycott, divest, and sanction against Israel, our best ally in the Middle East is Israel. It's not Saudi Arabia. Because with Israel, we do have a common Judeo-Christian faith heritage. With Israel, we do have shared principles and values. But yet, why is it that we were so chastised for moving our embassy to the rightful capital of Israel, which is Jerusalem? See, we have anti-Semitism all around us here in the United States of America. Sadly, it reared its ugly head in a very violent manner this past Saturday, but it continues to be out there thriving, metastasizing. And if we don't take this as a teachable moment to say it's time for this anti-Semitism in these great United States of America to end, we will have lost the essence of who we are. We will not be honoring that very first constitutional right that we have. And if you want to know a little bit about history, go back and see who was one of the biggest financiers for the Continental Army and our cause for freedom during the Revolutionary War. No, it wasn't John Hancock. It was a Jewish man who, in the end, died in poverty because he gave everything he had to this country. Anti-Semitism in America must end. May this be a call to arms for each and every one of us, regardless of Republican, Democrat, Independent, or wherever, to end this type of vile rhetoric. And we know the people from whence it emanates. Let's shut it down. Or else, what happened in Squirrel Hill in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it will happen again.